Bubble Busters!
My name is Helen, and I'm engaged to my boyfriend Alan. He is very sweet to me. But his mother and sister detest me. My mother-in-law didn't like me from the start, and she would criticize me every time that we met. She doesn't want me to marry Alan, and she's doing everything that she can to drive me away. She won't hesitate to backstab me and do awful things to me. But my love for Alan is strong, and I won't let his mother interfere. And Alan's sister, Sarah, she's a single mother raising her son, Michael. Sarah doesn't like me either and will criticize me along with her mother. I was a little concerned about joining a new family that hated me so much, but I still wanted to marry Alan. Alan knew that his mother and sister were mean to me, and he was sick of their behavior.
If I need to cut ties with my mother and sister in order for us to be happy, I'll gladly do it.
He's such a nice guy! He's the perfect guy for me to marry. So we went ahead with the planning of our wedding, and our wedding day finally arrived. Our wedding venue was a beautiful chapel. The chapel was famous, and celebrities would frequent the chapel for events and ceremonies. On our wedding day, one of the staff said to me, "Today, a famous actress is promoting her latest film at this chapel." Really? I'm so excited to have my wedding on the same day as her event! I love her! She's going to attend the event clad in designer clothes and high-end jewelry. Her dress alone is worth thousands of dollars. Wow! I can't wait to see her!
I'd love to see such a dress up close.
Yes! We'd be so lucky if we're able to get a close look at her in the dress!
Is she that famous? I hadn't heard of her until today.
It just so happened that on my wedding day, a famous actress was coming to the same place for an event! The wedding staff told us that it wouldn't be a problem because the time of our wedding and the event would not overlap. And so we continued with the wedding preparations. My mother-in-law then came into the room looking happy. "Helen, I'm so sorry about what happened to your dress." "What do you mean? What happened?" My mother-in-law stood there with a creepy smile. "It's a shame, but you won't be able to go ahead with the wedding now that your dress is ruined." What happened? And why are you laughing? Then my sister-in-law Sarah and her son Michael also came into the room. "I'm sorry, Helen. Michael didn't mean to ruin your dress. He's only a child, so you'll forgive him, won't you?" I don't understand. What are you talking about? I had no idea what the two of them were talking about. Then Sarah showed me a photo saved in her smartphone. "Michael accidentally spilled Coke on your white dress." What? Are you sure that it was an accident? The photo showed my dress splashed with Coke. It was a lot of Coke. Certainly more than Michael can drink in a day. And the dress was soaked. "We should cancel the wedding. We can't have you going out in front of our guests in a dirty dress." "We don't want the memory of your wedding to be a dirty dress. But you'll forgive Michael, won't you? He's sweet like an angel. And it was an accident."
Sorry, Helen. I didn't do it on purpose.
It seemed to me that someone spilled Coke onto my dress deliberately so that they could have the wedding canceled. All three of them did not look sorry. In fact, they seemed happy with the outcome. I knew that my mother-in-law and sister-in-law didn't like me, But were they cruel enough to ruin my dress on purpose? But then I realized that they had made a big mistake. I won't forgive them. Troublebusters. The dress in the photo is not mine. What? Like I said, the dress isn't mine. My dress is more simple in design. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law had spilled Coke on a dress that they thought was mine. The dress belonged to someone else. The dress in the photo was very elaborate, and it looked very expensive. If I could afford it, I would have chosen a dress like this one in the photo. I then heard a commotion from the hallway. When I went out into the hallway, I saw the famous actress walking my way. She was more beautiful in person and smelled very nice. I wanted to ask for her autograph. My dress is dirty. What happened? We apologize, but someone spilled a drink on your dress while we weren't looking. I went over to the staff to get information about what was happening. What's happening? Did someone spill Coke on that gorgeous dress? That's exactly what happened. How do you know this? I know who spilled the Coke on the dress. It was those two women standing over there. I explained to the staff that it was my in-laws that had ruined the dress. The two of them denied it. But I told everyone about the photo saved in Sarah's phone. You showed me the photo on your phone earlier. Your son Michael spilled the Coke, right? The staff surrounded Sarah, Michael, and my mother-in-law.
What's going on here?
Alan, where have you been? There's a lot of drama happening here.
So, what's going on?
I told Alan about what had happened. As for Sarah and my mother-in-law, they were now being confronted by the actress. My son accidentally went into the room where your dress was, and he accidentally spilled his Coke on your lovely dress. He didn't mean to. They're not very convincing. So your son did this? We're so sorry. It was a mistake. Please accept our apology. It was the first time that I had seen Sarah apologizing to anyone. She's much more likable in front of a famous person. Well, if a child did this, and it wasn't on purpose, I suppose that there's no one to blame. Wow, she's so nice! I bet that dress was really expensive. Of course I won't blame your son. He's only a child. But as his parent, I need you to take some responsibility. Oh, but she is going to ask Sarah to take responsibility. Michael, who had been quiet up until that point, then said,
I'm sorry for what I've done. My mom and grandma told me to spill Coke onto that just because they thought it was Helen's.
Michael, what are you saying? Even as a young child, I think that Michael sensed that it would be best for him to tell the truth. Michael then told everyone about what had really happened.
I thought that the dress belonged to Helen. My mom and grandma told me that they would give me allowance if I listened to them.
I finally understood what had happened. So it wasn't an accident after all. I couldn't believe that they would try to bribe an innocent child with money. Because Michael is still a child, he probably couldn't tell the difference between my dress and the actress's. That's probably why he chose the fancier dress. Oh my goodness! I think I need to know all the details. I can't believe that you would try to blame everything onto an innocent child. That's unforgivable. Oh no! Alan's mother and sister were responsible for not only ruining the actress's dress, but also jeopardizing the event. They were taken to a different room by the staff. I can only imagine what the cost of the damages will be. They did this to themselves. Have a nice chat! See you never! I guess we had no choice but to start the wedding without them. The two of them were close to tears, and they probably didn't care anymore about whether I married Alan or not.
I can't believe that they tried to sabotage our wedding by ruining your dress. How immature. And good riddance.
They could have come up with a better plan. We went ahead with our wedding without them. It was a lovely wedding, especially without my dreadful in-laws. After the reception, Alan's mother and sister came back. Alan! Help us! We need to pay back for the dress that we ruined!
We also have to pay for the cancellation fees of the event!
Well, that's the right thing to do. You need to fix this.
We had no idea that the dress belonged to a famous actress! The dress was obviously not mine. I can't afford such a beautiful dress.
They were both white!
So how much do you need to pay in damages?
Look at this!
Sarah showed me a document that listed the cost of the damages. That number is so big! How much is this?
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
I had never seen so many zeros in my life. Wow. It's going to take a lifetime to pay this much. There's no way that we will be able to pay back the entire amount. This is all your fault, Alan. You shouldn't have gotten engaged to Helen. Helen, you should pay for the costs. I asked you not to marry my son, and you went ahead with it against my wishes. That makes no sense. The dress that they had ruined was not a dress that an ordinary person could afford. On top of that, the event was canceled because of them. So the amount to be paid was huge. Well, good luck paying that all back.
I don't consider you to be my family anymore after what you did today. See ya!
Wait! The two of them begged us to help them. But we had no intention of doing that. We left the chapel without ever looking back. Even after that, the two of them tried to get in touch with us to get us to help them. But we said no. The two of them are now busy paying back what they owe to that famous actress. If only they had the decency to deal with things more maturely. It was their fault for mistakenly ruining a famous actress's expensive dress. Because Alan had cut ties with his family, I no longer had to deal with his mother and sister. I wonder how long it's going to take your mother and sister to pay back that actress.
I hope that they'll finally realize that they were wrong all along.
I hope so. By the way, what happened to Michael?
He lives with his father now. I think he is better off with his father than his crazy mother.
I agree. I think that he'll be much happier with his father. Ever since our wedding, we haven't been in touch with Alan's mother or sister. They shouldn't have tried to sabotage our wedding in the first place. Alan and I are much happier now that we no longer have to deal with Sarah and her mother. I really do wonder how long it will take them to pay back everything. Trouble Busters.